Hello. This is Sundry Sports for Wednesday, the 12th. Wednesday, August 12th. Someday I will get my shit together and start doing these in the morning again. We start today with the Dallas Cowboys newsletter. Opening points. Jerry Jones, head coach Mike McCarthy, and Director of Player Personnel Stephen Jones spoke to reporters in a virtual press conference today, heading into training camp practices officially beginning at the Star in Frisco. Here are the 10 biggest points. Name to know, Connor McGovern. Second effort. Connor McGovern's rookie season ended before it got going. Hopefully, 2020 will provide the Cowboys with a chance to see what they have in their versatile O-lineman. Creating a bubble. Some members of the Cowboys are doing their best to find some sense of training camp normalcy this week by checking themselves into the Omni Frisco Hotel located at the Star in Frisco. Good luck with that. The normalcy thing, I mean. And that's all there. ESPN again sent us this thing called Morning Skate, which I guess is going to become a normal thing as long as the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs is going on. NHL Morning Skate Stanley Cup Playoffs Edition. Tuesday's 2020 Stanley Cup Playoffs action saw the Tampa Bay Lightning and Columbus Blue Jackets play into a fifth overtime, and Columbus goaltender Jonas Corpusalo make 85 saves in a losing cause. Due to the length of the Lightning Blue Jackets contest, Game 1 between the Boston Bruins and Carolina Hurricanes, originally scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday, was rescheduled for 11 a.m. Eastern Time today. Oh. Tuesday's results. Lightning outlast Blue Jackets in fourth longest game in NHL history. Braden Point scored twice, including the winner at 10 minutes 27 seconds of the fifth overtime, to lift the Tampa Bay Lightning past the Columbus Blue Jackets in the fourth longest game in NHL history. 150 minutes and 27 seconds. Damn. Point's first career playoff overtime goal came at 9:22 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 hours and 13 minutes after puck drop at 3:09 p.m. Eastern Time. Holy shit. Point became the fifth player in NHL history to score the winner in a game which required 5 or more overtimes. He joined Detroit Red Wings forward Mud Bruneteau, Game 1 of 1936 semifinals, 6th overtime. Toronto Maple Leafs forward Ken Doherty, Game 5 of 1933 semifinals, 6th overtime. Philadelphia Flyers forward Keith Primeau, Game 4 of 2000 conference semifinals, 5th overtime. And Anaheim Ducks forward Peter Sikora, Game 1 of 2003 conference semifinals, 5th overtime. Lightning Blue Jackets leave mark on NHL records. The fourth longest game in NHL history produced accomplishments that will leave a lasting mark on NHL records. Columbus Blue Jackets goaltender Jonas Corpusalo made 85 saves to register the NHL's highest single-game save total since it was officially tracked in 1955-56. He shattered the previous mark of 73 set by New York Islanders goaltender Kelly Rudy in the Easter epic Game 7 of the 1987 division semifinals. Tampa Bay's 88 shots on goal were the highest single-game total by any team since it was tracked consistently in 1959-60. The Lightning and Blue Jackets, who logged a franchise record 63 shots on goal, combined for a total of 151 shots, which were the most by any two teams in that same time frame. Did you know? Prior to shots on goal becoming an official NHL statistic, select games logged them, creating incomplete shot on goal data for those campaigns. One of those games happened to be the longest in NHL history between the Montreal Maroons and Detroit Red Wings in Game 1 of the 1936 semifinals, when Red Wings goaltender Normie Smith was credited with 90 saves. Blue Jackets defenseman Seth Jones logged 65 minutes and 6 seconds of ice time, which marked the NHL's highest single-game total by a skater since 1997-98, when time on ice was officially tracked. He eclipsed the mark of 63 minutes 51 seconds set by Dallas Stars defenseman Sergei Zubov in Game 1 of the 2003 conference semifinals. Flames and Golden Knights earned Game 1 victories. The Dallas Stars set a franchise record with 2 goals in a span of 9 seconds to erase a 2-0 deficit. But Rasmus Andersson scored 5 minutes later to put the Calgary Flames ahead en route to a Game 1 victory. Dylan Dubé tallied the other 2 goals for Calgary as he and Andersson each scored in consecutive games for the first time in their NHL careers. Riley Smith scored twice and added an assist to help the Vegas Golden Knights take a 1-0 lead in their first-round series against the Chicago Blackhawks. Smith, who is Vegas's all-time leader in postseason points with 33 in 31 games, has 12 points in 9 games versus Chicago since the start of the Golden Knights' inaugural season in 2017-18. Looking ahead to today's action. Well, now we are looking back at today's action. The second day of the first round will get an early start with the Boston Bruins and Carolina Hurricanes squaring off at 11 a.m. Eastern Time after their game was rescheduled due to the 5-overtime game between Tampa Bay and Columbus. The remaining 4 series will also contest Game 1 on Wednesday, including 4 teams in action who weren't part of the 2019 postseason: Arizona Coyotes, Philadelphia Flyers, Montreal Canadiens, and Vancouver Canucks, and the reigning Stanley Cup champions St. Louis Blues. In the Crease, post-game analysis and highlight show airing each night throughout the NHL postseason on ESPN+, with Barry Melrose and Linda Cohn. I guess ESPN wants you to watch that. It doesn't have a time. I guess it depends on how late the games end. Moving on to Cowboys again, Cowboys Wire. Second to none or second to one? Cowboys Martin not top guard in 2020. What? The Dallas Cowboys offensive line has long been considered the best in the business. Guard Zach Martin has taken the mantle from tackle Tyron Smith as the best O-lineman. Screw you guys. Cowboys news, Alita primary focus. We read that. Maturation and draft class whiffs sees Cowboys plummet in ESPN's under 25 ranking. What? Championship windows are not only hard to come by in the NFL, they're incredibly short. Players age out of their prime seemingly overnight. What draft class whiffs? You talking about previous years? Because this year was good. Everybody knows that. Cowboys news, McCarthy talks position changes, and Love Prescott, we read that too. Cowboys waive wide receiver to activate 2 players off COVID-19 list. Cowboys news, Prescott's $31.4 million at risk, yes, we read that too. 2020 Cowboys training camp, the nuts, bolts, plexiglass dividers, contact tracers of it all. Depressing. Rico Dowdle wants to and can make Cowboys rush attack 4-headed monster. Chris Westry, and the biggest reason Cowboys will bounce back in 2020 to a playoff berth. Good. Positivity. Positivity. Continuing. Oops. The ESPN Daily. Good morning. Choose your NBA bubble fighter. Damian Lillard or Devin Booker. I'm a vocal Book supporter myself, but it's hard to bet against the only player with multiple games of 60 points. Probably 50-something rebounds and 5 assists in NBA history. Dame time indeed. Here's your ESPN Daily. Things to care about. Long-lost letters to Barry Sanders. Many of us wrote fan mail to our favorite athletes or celebs growing up. Britney Spears and Mia Hamm got more than a few letters from ya girl. But as far as I know, I never got a reply. I think the governor of Missouri did respond to me once when I reached out for my 5th grade state fair project. Or perhaps it was a senator. Either way, it was far less exciting than hearing back from Britt or Mia, no offense to him. A slew of die-hard Barry Sanders fans who reached out to the Detroit superstar after his retirement suffered the same replyless fate as my teeny bopper self. However, it wasn't because the most famous player in Lions history didn't care. Sanders was simply unaware the letters existed. That is, until about 150 of them were discovered inside a storage closet in the Lions practice facility in Allen Park, Michigan, by a team employee in 2018. The kids who wrote Sanders are now adults. Some of the senior citizens who wrote him are deceased. The Hall of Famer said all of them will get some sort of response. It's meaningful, Sanders said. It just shows what kind of career I was able to have and that I was able to connect with a lot of fans in that way. I'm proud of that. I remember being a fan. I never wrote anyone, but I followed players religiously, so I kind of understand a little bit of that feeling behind the letters. It's a big honor. Here's a sample of the long-lost letters and their authors. All eyes on spring college football. It's official. On Tuesday, not all eyes, there are some people who still care about the fall football that's still going to happen. It's official. On Tuesday, the Big Ten and the Pac-12 voted to postpone all fall sports seasons. Oh, it was both of them. Including football, amid the coronavirus panic, with the hopes of playing in the spring. College football's mess of a situation is far from resolved, as there are other critical dominoes yet to fall. Namely, the ACC, Big 12, and SEC are, for now, planning to proceed with the season. We could sit here and ruminate on college football's horrendous lack of central leadership, but I find it much more cathartic to deal in hypotheticals. So how does this all play out? Will student-athletes be allowed to transfer immediately to a team within a conference that is still playing, should they choose to do so? How would it be deemed safe for some conferences to play and not for others? Wouldn't playing a spring football season before the 2021 fall season be too hard on players' bodies? What about NFL draft implications? According to Bill Connolly, a spring season doesn't have to be as destined to fail as some might think. If the phrases conference jamboree and expanded college football playoffs spark your interest, you will want to read this. I think the coach that they talked about yesterday, what he said was a good point. I don't remember which coach it was. Maybe it was Harbaugh. I'm really not sure, though. But anyway, he said something about how that playing football isn't what's going to be dangerous. It's being in school and on campus, at all. So if these schools are deeming it all right to have school, then football should be going on. I think it's silly to postpone. I think you can go on ahead by looking at what the professional teams have been doing. But whatever. Also, if you're still struggling to wrap your head around the news, you can read the college football world's reaction to the Big Ten and Pac-12 postponements as a reminder that you're far from alone in your disappointment. 2020, man. 2020. Surreal MLS is back tournament. That's such a stupid name for a tournament. MLS is back tournament. Surreal MLS is back tournament comes to fitting end. Good, it's over. Diego Valeri raised the MLS is back tournament trophy as he was joined by his teammates jumping and shouting in unison while donning masks that read champions. Off to the side, Portland Timbers owner Merritt Paulson engaged in a stream of fist pumps and clapping. There were no fans on hand to witness the celebration, none of the hoopla that would typically accompany such a joyful moment, but after spending about a month and a half in a bubble away from families and loved ones, it's hard to breathe. Away from families and loved ones, their exuberance was more than warranted. To emerge victorious in the MLS's back tournament required a special kind of endurance. A month ago, there were questions about whether MLS's back would even get off the ground as a wave of positive COVID-19 tests forced the withdrawal of Football Club Dallas and Nashville Soccer Club. Yet the tournament survived, at times thrived, and the positive tests abated. The games featured the kind of chaos that's what happens when you push ahead. This is doable. Because, above all, it's not a fucking deadly disease, especially not for athletes. Young athletes. The games feature the kind of chaos that is the very oxygen of the league and ultimately the Timbers emerged as deserving winners, capitalizing on their chances while subduing a game Orlando City side. Okay. Although there has been some talk that Portland's trophy should come with an asterisk given the wild circumstances that surrounded it, I say it should be valued that much more. Well, I mean, why does including a little context on the year mean that anything's taken away? That's the connotation of asterisks, but this is unprecedented, right? This entire year, everything that's being done this year is completely unprecedented. So, a little context in the record books and the history books would be fitting. Listen up. MLB eyes postseason bubble. Major League Baseball has already weathered multiple outbreaks of COVID-19, prompting the league to update its protocols after the integrity of its season was threatened. Now, the league is considering taking the same route as the NBA and NHL to ensure a successful postseason, playing inside a bubble. On today's episode of the ESPN Daily Podcast, Jeff Passan brings us the latest on MLB's efforts to contain the coronavirus. Then Passan shares his reporting on the breakout star of this MLB season. The San Diego Padres' Fernando Tatis Jr. Passan's recent profile of Tatis Jr. for ESPN cover story took him to the Dominican Republic to tell the budding superstar's story. Things to watch. Sun's intros will tug on your heartstrings. If it feels as if I've become a bit of a Devin Booker / Phoenix Suns bubble bandwagoner, it's because I've become a bit of a Devin Booker Phoenix Suns bubble bandwagoner. But I promise you, this content is premium no matter where your NBA rooting interests lie. The Suns surprised players by having their family and friends introduce the starting lineup from home on Tuesday, and their reactions were priceless. I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm gonna go righty and just hit Bill Murray in the head 7 times. The Chicago Cubs get extra points for creativity. The team decided to spice up batting practice by having players aim for cardboard cutouts of some of the city's most recognizable faces, including Bill Murray and Michael Jordan. If that MJ cutout didn't immediately make you think of the scene where Kevin McAllister makes Harry and Marv believe he's having a party in Home Alone, you're not a true fan. Of Michael Jordan or of Home Alone? Overheard. I think it's completely irresponsible. Reese Davis on the notion of having college football in the spring followed by a season in the fall. Well, what if they delayed the fall season just a bit? Like, what if they pushed it just a bit and then by the year after, things could get back to normal? Remember when? Never gets old. On this date in 2018, Wayne Rooney stole the ball and uncorked an absolute all-time great pass, leading to DC United's defeating Orlando on a goal in the waning seconds of stoppage time. A legend among us. What's on today? Bunch of stuff that we missed. Until next time, remember, if Britney Spears or Mia Hamm want to follow Barry Sanders' lead and send me a response to my ardent fan mail now, I would be open to it. Not that I'm bitter or anything. I'm just saying it's never too late to make amends. This has been your ESPN Daily for Wednesday, August 12th, 2020. Alrighty. Thank you, ESPN. Last of all, is Yahoo Sports Read and React. Will there be a college football playoff? And other burning questions. Good question. Nebraska not happy with Big Ten canceling football. I'm sure. Suspensions handed down in baseball. Astros coach gets 20 games. Wow. Manfred. Cardinals won't play 60 games. Well, what are they going to do? Deion Sanders leaving NFL Network to coach. Alrighty. Too much uncertainty by Jay Hart. Well, how to put this? This sucks. The Big Ten, we're still talking about college football. Of course we are. The Big Ten pulled the plug on football this fall. The Pac-12 followed an hour later, and, well, we'll see if the Big 12, ACC, and SEC push forward. They've already issued statements saying they will. And that was yesterday, not today. There is no certainty, not even in cancellation. Jim Harbaugh, Nick Saban, and others made valid arguments that student-athletes might be better off under the guidance of a football program this fall versus walking around campus. It's a reasonable point, but it doesn't come with certainty. What is certain is that if something were to happen under their guidance, if an athlete got seriously ill or worse, they, the coach, the athletic program, the university, will be blamed. If they get sick walking around campus going to school, the university will still be blamed. Beyond the obvious potential for tragedy, no, there is not an obvious potential for tragedy because college students are not likely to die from COVID-19. Because most college students do not have life-threatening diseases already that would be exacerbated by COVID-19 that would be the cause of death. It's a PR nightmare and potential liability nightmare. This is ultimately what the decision to cancel fall sports came down to for the Big Ten and Pac-12 presidents. It doesn't matter that the risk of serious issues arising from for 20-year-olds in good health is close to zero. Yes, it does. That their risk of dying in a car accident is statistically greater than dying of the coronavirus. Oh my God, you're actually talking about this and you're still not fucking getting it. It doesn't matter what protocols are put in place to keep student athletes safe. Again, maybe even safer than they would be outside the athletic department. Even a sliver of uncertainty is too much for college athletics. Fucking cowards, man. Certainly the story of Brady Feeney, the Indiana offensive lineman who is reportedly dealing with potential heart issues after battling COVID-19, spooked the entire college landscape. One dude. One. Out of... how many college students are there? Millions? Feeney may be an outlier. A scientific understanding of any potential long-term effects of coronavirus is years away. But in the absence of certainty, do the Big Ten and Pac-12 want to test the odds? In the end, the answer is no. Why does this outlier have anything to do with potential long-term effects? Because if he's having potential heart issues now, that's not a long-term effect. Wetzel. College football is as divided as the country itself. Bushnell. Do college sports need a vaccine before returning? No. Nobody needs a vaccine to this. Because honestly, it's highly doubtful that there would be a long-term effective vaccine. You know what else is a coronavirus? The common cold, which is pretty fucking well known for not having any type of cure or vaccine. Haynes, how players are bonding within the NBA's Orlando bubble. Well, that picture is not social distanced. The kicker. Didn't they read the sign? Remember, no feeding the bears. That's not safe. That's pretty stupid. Okay, that's it for Sundry Sports. Thank you and goodbye.